I think you know me. My name is Kenan Asir. Today I will be talking about church going. It's by Philip Larkin. He was a contemporary poet from England, I think. And the poem was written in 1954 and was published in 1955 for the first time. It is a pure contemporary and postmodern poem, we can say. I will explain why. So he also studied English literature, so it means that he was our man. So I want to start with our poem. Now I have underlined some parts of the poem. I hope you can see. When we read the first part, once I'm sure there is nothing going on, I step inside, letting the door thus shut. Matted seeds and stone, little books, flowing flowers, cut for Sunday brownish now. And now when we read it, we think that we read something realist. You know, in the time of realism, what they were doing, they were describing every single thing. Now we think that, when you look at it, you can easily say that it's a poem that was written in the time of realism, but it was not. And then we also see the combination of realism with modernism when he says in the beginning, once I'm sure there is nothing going on. So that shows that alienation and isolation. And down we have what? Realism. So that's the combination of realism with modernism. And then we go down, he's talking about the roof of the church. When he's talking about the roof of the church, he says that he's not sure if it is cleaned or restored. He doesn't know. So I don't know, he says. So it means that he doesn't really care about the church and about the religion. So which shows he's being indifferent. So that's the symbol of postmodernism and also modernism. Now down we go, he says, he is going to, in the church and in mosques or in the synagogues, they have these kind of places where the mullah or the priest speaks, and he goes there, and he starts reading a few verses from maybe Bible, and after that he says, here endeth. He says it very loud. Now when he says here endeth, probably he's saying that this is the last moments of the religion, or he's just saying that he finished the book. We don't know. That's probably the first one. It's the last moments of that religion. And then we go down. Yes. Now here he's talking what will happen after the church and the religions are neglected completely. Here, he says that should we keep a few of the churches for showing people that in our past, in the history, there was religions and people were visiting the church. That's first, like museums. Or should we just make them a shelter for animals, as our professor explained. Now, this part is very important. Now we will see the elements of romanticism. First, in the first part, he's saying that, oh yes, the church will be abandoned, but there will be some people to look for some cures, for some remedy. Imagine, nowadays we don't have a complete solution for disease like cancer, and now back then, talking about 1950s, imagine that if someone was cancer, that person will be, you will need someone to help you, greater than yourself, which is God probably. And so a dubious woman will look for a cure for his or her child to find a remedy. And then after that, he says that when it's completely abandoned, what will happen? The nature will take it over. Grass, a weedy pavement, brambles, waters, sky. So these are the elements of romanticism. Now we understand that we have a contemporary postmodern poem. Inside we have the elements of modernism, realism, and until now we have also romanticism. And then he's talking about in the last stanza in the last line of I think 4th or 5th stanza, he's talking about the representative. Or maybe someone will visit this place. Maybe it will be his from the parallel universe of his alternative of himself. So that's the element of then modernism and postmodernism. Parallel universe, we say. Now, if you remember, before we mentioned that, not me, but our professors mentioned that when you read a postmodern or a contemporary work, at some point you have a twist, you have a change. Now, up to now, we understand that this man is completely annoyed by the idea of religion. In the first stanza, he says unignorable silence, which means that he's disturbed with the silence inside the church, okay? And he's humiliating the church by shutting the door, by making fun of it. But in the end, we see that he is actually a bit maybe in favor of the religion. For example, he says, only in separation, marriage and birth. And that, and thoughts of these. So he wants to say that, actually churches are not that bad places. Maybe it's good for us, because in the past we used to be united, before at least the Industrial Revolution. But now we are separated completely, especially after the war. We have no ties. Now, maybe churches are the only places that unite people, that put us together in marriage, because that's the only place we go to see our relatives, maybe, their relatives. And then it says, it pleases me to stand in silence here. Before, he was, annoyed. Now, the silence is actually pleasing for him. And the last, this one, a serious house on serious earth it is. Now, when I was checking on internet, it said that the word serious meant religious until the 19th century. So a religious house on religious earth it is, which means that as long as there is a house on earth, there is a person on earth, there will be a religion. Because we people, we always need something greater than ourselves. Because sometimes we think that we cannot do things, even though doesn't matter if you're religious or not, we need something supernatural to help ourselves. Now, the theme of the poem will be the importance of, this poet is, he is agnostic or atheist, but the theme of the poem is, at least for me, is the importance of religion. Not from his perspective maybe, but from the perspective of other people. Because as long as we exist, humans exist, there will be a religion. Yes? That was my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. Okay.
Thank you for your presentation.